Welcome to the March 30th edition of the State of the Plate. We're the day after the last day of legislative session, which ended last night, or technically early this morning, as they went past midnight to finish a few things up. It was a big day for the restaurant industry down at the Capitol. The big news being House Bill 528 getting approved in both the House and the Senate, now goes on to the governor for his signature. This bill, as you recall from past videos and briefings from Karen and myself, would require a written agreement between a restaurant and third-party delivery app for that app to accept orders on behalf of the restaurant and to use their menu and logo on their website or app. Um, this is a good measure to protect restaurants. We've seen several folks, and some of you all reached out to us, where these apps have put your logos or menus on their site without your permission. Well, this would now make that against the law, provide for a fine structure and an action structure there, so you can take action against these apps if something like this happens to you. Again, like I mentioned earlier, it goes on to the governor for his signature. We will be in touch with his office to make sure everything is all squared away. The Another big important bill that we've been working on this session, that was one of our legislative priorities for this year, and I think was a big success, was EV, electric vehicle legislation that will now allows independent businesses to install EV charging stations for Teslas, Chevy Bolts, any of the electric vehicles. And as that industry is growing, allows you to install those in your parking lots and then charge per kilowatt hour for the rates that were used while people are parked in your lot and then inside enjoying a delicious meal or beverage. That also goes to the governor soon. We also saw one bill that we worked on earlier in the session was fuel choice, which would kind of further the fuel choice preemption that was worked on a few years ago. This put in a code that local governments couldn't use a building code to circumvent any sort of fuel choice and natural gas appliance preference by an individual, would not let them to put those bans into place. Unfortunately, we had a few things that didn't pass. There was another bill, Senate Bill 145, which had fuel choice language in it. Now, we were lucky that we were able to get that language in another bill and get that across the finish line. But the CPACE language, which was conservation, was funding for conservation projects and conservation upgrades to commercial properties, did not make it across the finish line this year. It's something I'm sure we will be working on in upcoming sessions. And also expansion of COAM that would allow folks who have COAM kiosks in their establishments to provide Visa gift cards or gift certificates. Got held up in the last day, and the House and Senate couldn't come to an agreement. So that was held up. Now I think the last step of that was it got to the Senate and didn't get quite back over to the House before the deadline. Again, that's something I know folks in the House and Senate have been working hard on. I would expect to see that come up here next session as we get there next January. There are also many things that are included in conference committees and where they go off into a room, and while the rest of the General Assembly is working on things, they hash out agreements on bills where they've previously disagreed. So over the next few days, we'll be checking in on those things to see if there's anything tucked away that's hidden from view, not hidden from view, but less prevalent from view. We'll work on those things as well. And again, reaching out to the governor's office to know when things that are important to the industry come across his desk for his signature. They know the impact of what it will have on the industry and how important it is for folks like us. Thank you all again for joining us this legislative session. I know it was a long one, but we got a lot of good work done. And we look forward to seeing you all on April 18th here in about a little more than 2 weeks away for the GRA golf tournament. I know Sarah's got some great things lined up for everybody. If you're interested in a foursome or sponsorship, I believe there's still time. Reach out to her, Sarah at garestaurants.org, and we'd love to see you out there. Thanks again for everything, and we look forward to seeing you soon.